Well, after much toil and thinking we were just about ready to go on 2 minutes of the hour, 20 minutes after the hour, we finally make it. But welcome anybody who's interested in late hour on the East Coast and any 2 minutes, 20 minutes after 8 here in California. But welcome to Talking with Cuz episode 2, talking about growing up Italian. And if we were old school Italian, speaking Italian, it'd be a lot of cuss words. Somehow Vin couldn't get in, and all of a sudden my new mic wouldn't work. Yeah, so you can't hear me, so it's good. So we're here to entertain for about an hour about what it was like growing up in the 50s and 60s and actually 70s in an Italian household. And we're very fortunate to have phenomenal parents, great families. I couldn't find the Ferrari CD because I don't know where it is after my moves or I've been playing that. But, it's a lot of good times and a lot of great time. And I'm just going to try to use this little piece I did for my grandparents. And hopefully we could share this. If I could get in there and play.
Figli a cutterare, mamma mia, pensaccia tu.
Prima.
Sitte ogni pisciaolo, ite va, ite viene sempre baccalare del mano bene. Se ci picchia quando si è baccalare, perché me. Oh mamma, la 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 la. Oh mamma, la 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 la. Mama dear, come over here and see who's looking in my window. It's the baker boy, and look, he's got a cannoli in his hand. If you marry the baker boy, he will come and he will go, and he will always mix the flour in the pan. If you marry the baker boy, he'll have the cannoli in his hand. Oh, mama, la 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 la. Oh, mama, la 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 la. Mama dear, come over here and see who's looking in the window.
Well, that's a little bit of tribute that I did a couple of weeks ago after making for myself a phenomenal Sunday dinner. And in tribute with them, that just came to my mind and pulled up a lot of pictures from our grandparents. And
what comes to mind, Carl, first for me is our holiday meals, where in our house, the row home, you had 30 people in the living room and the dining room, nobody watching TV, nobody on a computer, just people sitting around, eating, drinking, talking, and everybody's smiling. We
were having a phenomenal time. It was just like we were the kids playing, and we didn't want to eat. We're just worried about the next fun, having fun. And
you don't want to mention the game we invented with the sock.
We'll just talk. We talk about a little bit that what we used to do by we were always playing some kind of sport in the most narrow of places that in our houses, and they were
sock hockey.
Yeah,
Aunt Rady you were in a hallway that was no more than 3.5 feet wide by 10, 15 feet, and basically one person was on his knees one end, the other person's face the other end, and you roll up a couple socks and you'd take slap shots with the sock.
Yeah, this is a picture. This is a picture of a Christmas Eve. Just so happens, I know your family went with
aunts, yeah,
with your mother's family, and this is Christmas Eve, 1966, with myself and my sister, my grandmother in the middle, and our Aunt Nan to the left. And actually, the last Christmas Eve in South Philly, in the following year, my grandmother got sick, she did pass. Yeah. And that same year, this, we would always go to my dad's family on Sickle Street, 19th or 20th and Sickle, where my uncle Pat, my father's brother, lived. So I would always go there after my grandmother's. And here's my Uncle Joe to the left, my cousin Jackie eating a schmelt, I think. And you see me hovering behind her. I remember my dad took this picture, and my other cousin John and my Aunt Teresa and my Aunt Josie there. So it was always food. It was always family together. It was, now this is, talk about an Italian family. This, I was just probably about 2 months, 3 months old. I think maybe it was my my communion. And my parents are just lower to the right. My mom has like a little black vest. My dad's there. And our aunt is in front. Aunt Randy is in front of them. And for some reason, that your mother is in the top left next to my Uncle John.
Well, who's holding Carl? Where are you? Dumb question.
I think my Uncle John.
Have?
Well, I don't know. I might be in a bassinet because my Uncle John is holding Carol, and your mother is next to my Uncle John, and my grandmother is like in the middle between Uncle Pat and another relative.
So there's Carol. I got it.
Yeah, Carol's down below, next to my godparents to the left on the knee. So
is Carol older than you?
Your sister?
Your sister, your cousin.
What you mean Basili?
Is she being held by the upper left?
I think, yeah, that's probably Carol. Yeah, she's
older than you. You haven't been born yet.
Yeah, by 3 months, June.
Well, they just didn't want to bother getting in the picture. I don't blame them. Okay.
Yeah, so that gives a picture of what families were really like back then. And
did you guys do the 7 fishes on Christmas Eve?
This is at your house on a Christmas day with my grandfather. They say who I look like and my grandmother. And I'm 12, 13 years old. And look how formal we were. We had ties on. We were enjoying the holiday. And, as later on when they finally went to Italy, on the steamship before transatlantic flight, 1960, I remember my first time in New York, driving them up to the docks in Brooklyn where the steamship would go to Italy, and they would spend almost like a month there. And, that's how technology and even transportation, there's no steamships anymore. There's none of that anymore. And, families evolved. We got older. So then this is at my house in Barrington, all the cousins.
Oh, good Lord. They're the handsome one, the chosen one is in the upper left. That's me.
Corner. Right, that's you. So we have to be 16 or 17. Yes.
Carol Dino. Yeah, it's Carol Basili, Jackie, Dawn.
And as a friend of the family, Linda Witten underneath where Carol, and then you can see a little silhouette of my sister, like maybe eating a taffy or something a little right. Yeah. So there was always food. This is outside, and that's your sister, and it was a wonderful time, and I wish I had pictures of food, but the abundance, and you tell us how, this is a classic where you're in it. Tell us where this is.
That's a freaky picture. It's almost like you're going upstairs to the pathway to hell. That's Grandmom's house, Grandpop and Grandmom, right?
Correct. I remember when this picture was taken. So I don't know who took it. So that's your sister on the top.
That's me.
That's you behind me. And I'm standing at attention. And that's our crazy, we love death. That's our crazy cousin, Diana, just giving Aunt Nan a game with Grandmom some attitude. Like, I'm not doing nothing. I always had that attitude. But, it was great times, fun times.
The gathering, the 4th of July party, your house, the best. I mean, it's about food. There'd be music. Your dad would be cooking on that grill that he constructed. I mean, you look forward to that stuff. You look forward to the holiday meals, just to sit around and talk or play our little games.
Right. Oh, I
We had
know.
the 7 fishes. Did you have the 7 fishes?
We had them at grandmom's house on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, but that's exactly it. That was my favorite meal of the year. The second favorite meal was my grandma for Palm Sunday would make the homemade raviolis. That the ragut was sweet. It's like, what the hell did you do? My sister says it was nutmeg, but we would tell her you should open a restaurant for this. That's the stuff
Yeah,
you
but see how
remember.
you called it? You called it lagut, not ricotta. Yeah,
I
my
didn't say
parents
ragut. I
would
said
tell me this
ragut.
story. Yeah, to try to
Yeah.
get, something. I would say, what's ragut? Ragut? You mean ricotta? Yeah. Oh, okay. That's what you
Yeah.
mean. So
Yeah, it's like I went to Lee's Hoagie and tried to order a hoagie at Lee's Hoagie. I said, kind of gabagool with extra onions. What? Gabagool extra onions. What? Okay. Capicola extra onions. Yep. People don't understand how Italians talk.
Well, okay. Great lead in. Great comedian from the late 80s, Philadelphia's own Dom Herrera. I just stumbled upon this a couple of nights ago, and it made me laugh again. And it's exactly, this is pre-Sopranos, this is late 80s, about Italians and, how, they all are.
We could just dance, who knows? The
I'm gonna
night
let
is
this
young,
play
the
through,
cell,
but
she's
it's
also small. Oh, can't you hear me screaming in the night? Ah, is this on? Is this legal? What happens when you turn gay? They always talk about a guy turning gay, like he was the wolf man or something. Oh yeah, I heard he turned gay. Hi. Oh my God, he turned gay. He was a lumberjack this morning. I gotta go out and knock down some trees. I'll be back. He comes back in. Oh, this place is a mess. It's so busy. Straight and gay is an interesting phenomenon. You never see two straight guys dancing with each other. You'll see gay guys, straight women. You never see two straight guys. Hey, Al. Big Al, would you care to boogie? Hey, come over here and wrap those construction worker meat hooks around my big, hairy, mole-filled, muscle-bound back, Al, and spin me, will you? Spin me like you know I like to be spinned. Hold me like you know I need to be held, Al. Come on, put your hairy man hooks on me, big boy. I am Italian. I have a school for Italians. I have a school where I actually teach Italians how to be more Italian. Teach them all the fine points of Italian acting. I teach them how to crank up their ass, how to pick themselves up, how to say all the catch Italian phrases. Forget about it. Definitely. You know what I mean? Yo, who died and left you, boss? Teach all the Italian vowels. Ah, eh, e, oh, ooh. When I was a little kid, I lived in South Philly. I'd see the guys in the corner. I'd learn from them. I'd see them. Hey, Louie, how come you didn't come around? Eh? Everybody was around. Hey, little Petey, big Petey, regular Petey. Joe Bag of Donuts was here. Jimmy the Woman, Nicky Potato Salad, Squid Lid, Mussels Marinara, Irregular Petey, Carmel Lemon Cola, Orthopedy, Repeaty. How come you didn't come around, eh? Hey, Angie, I didn't know you history, and there was man, if I didn't know that I'd have been around. All right. Yeah, all right. Tough guys. These are some tough guys. These are the kind of guys. Come on, you want to fight me? You want to fight me? I'll tell you what. You better fucking kill me, cause I'm crazy. Come on, jerk off. Go ahead, hit me on the head. I got a fucking plate in my head. You're just gonna ruin a good bat, cuz. Come on. It's the kind of guy who could rip his entire arm off. Now I'm really pissed. That was my favorite arm. I used to hug my girlfriend with that arm. My Uncle Joe's one of these great Italian characters. Uncle Joe, how you doing? My wife's a pain in the ass. She's busting my fucking kiyuns. My daughter's married to a friggin' loser. I got a rash so bad on my ass I can't even sit down. But you know me, I can't complain.
Well,
That's a long time ago.
That's a classic from Dom Herrera from 1988, but describing,
right before Goodfellas.
Yes, the guys from Philly that I eventually ended up meeting going down the shore in the summers from 67, I say to 81. A whole bunch of guys all talk like this, and I have to put this up now. This is in Atlantic City, but all the guys are from Philly. And this is most of the guys that I knew talk like that, screw around like that. My friend, dear friend Ronnie Melandro in the middle, all ripped. That's before Jersey Shore. And talk about some hoodlums. These
Getting
are
ready
free
to
hoodlum
rumble.
guys. Exactly. But it was a lot of fun. And it's just like, there's no cell phones. All it was you enjoyed the boardwalk, you take it, but then you see these chairs. They were the lounge chairs that people would rent for the summer and sit down very pristine in front of the hotel and watch people go by. But we were the punk kids that would just sit there during the day eating poly seeds and screwing them up and spilling ice cream and soda on it. They'd be going because, obviously mostly we were all Italian and they were a different line and they would be like back and forth. But that was my introduction to people that Don Herrera just kind of mentioned. And and guys, fighting, I'm crazy, you're going to ruin a good bat. So anyway, I'm doing all the talking, man. Give me this.
You had a better chance of being a mobster than I could. I had a very sheltered those teen years. I wasn't on the corners smoking, and I told people when I was 15 years old, one Friday night, I'm sitting in, my mom says, "You want to try a cigarette?" I said, "Sure, Mom, I'll try it." I took a puff, never tried it again. Never smoked on a cigarette. And when it came to weed, girlfriends had weed. I tried, didn't like it. So, being the little nerd that I was kept me out of smoking, drinking, being a beer person. So, yeah, I tell you, I didn't go out of that cocoon until I got into my 20s. While you were living the life.
Well, some of those guys, there's one picture that I did not put up there, but I was introduced to the water pipe at 13 years old underneath the boardwalk, and stories that could go on and on and on. So, yeah, I was influenced at an early age, and I was fortunate enough that we were all part of there. But it grew into a lot of great times. My
biggest excitement was when I was 14 years old. Our family, we went to Wildwood and stayed at this new hotel called the Sahara. And you're not a Wildwood person, but people who are Wildwood people, they remember the ride called the Hellhole.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a centrifugal ride. And I got to go on the ride with Donna Visco, and I held her hand, and she was violent. And I never forgot that. It was just, wow, Donna Visco. And that was it. You played miniature golf, you went on rides, and that was it.
So you didn't terrorize the neighborhoods around midnight and
the bad boy that I was. I think one time we went down the shore. Can't remember. I think it was like near Rio Grande, and I remember being a bad boy and getting an American flag that was on the boardwalk being suspended somewhere, and I took it. And then a half hour later, the cops are like coming around going, "You gotta be kidding me." They're looking for somebody who took a flag, but that's about as bad as I was. I was a innocent little Italian until I turned 20.
And then he turned into a hoodlum, right?
Not a hoodlum. I just turned into, I don't know. I think my genes just started sprouting, and but I made up for lost time.
Yes, you did.
But not being a hoodlum.
I know. I want to say, I don't know. Some people watched our first one about the Flyers and our addiction to Philly sports and all that. And actually, the numbers are not too bad. We hit close to almost 300 in a week without any promotion. But wherever you're at, and we have the little Chiron below. If you like what we do, if you could go on our YouTube page and our Facebook page, and you could like and subscribe, make a comment. And there's a topic that you would like us to talk about down the road, because we're going to go the gamut of topics tonight.
We're amplify stuff we talk about. Just your comments about anything you disagree with, agree with, you want to add on to, please do it.
Yes. And it kind of leads to what we're ethnically attuned to, but then a couple of the classic movies that depict a certain lifestyle that there's 3 major movies and then the TV series, but it goes back to the original One of my
Got that.
favorites. Yes.
Richard Castellano.
Yes, and
Clemenza.
actually, the funny thing is, people, they were just actors. No, there's actually a couple actors now. His last name is Castellano. What was the last name of the mobster that was killed in front of Sparks Steakhouse?
Sparks Steakhouse was Castellano.
Right, and that's his great uncle. So he played a great role as Clemenza. He was a great actor, but he got too big for his britches. Why he wasn't in Godfather 2, because of he thought he was going to make more money and all this. So, but it's but.
Carlucci, do you know how much money Brando made making that film?
Not much.
$50,000 for 6 weeks of work, and the rest of them, like James Caan and Duvall, they made $35,000 for 8 weeks. So they didn't make a lot of money.
No, and they didn't know where it was going to be.
Yeah.
But
Brando had an option
to
get a percent.
One of the famous sayings.
He finished with his piece.
Leave the gun. Take the cannoli.
Classic.
That's one of the classic lines.
Poor Paulie. You won't see him no more. Yeah.
He had a problem.
Yeah. That was one of the famous lines. And it was 1972. It was a little bit more. That was one of the most movies that really pushed the envelope, made things realistic. And I'm watching it in a movie theater as an 18-year-old and saying, oh, my God.
It was rated R.
Yes. And, and then all the characters that were part of that. And obviously these are not my pictures, but whoever put these together was phenomenal. And with James Caan as Sonny, and then the meeting with Stilazzo, and then
that's the upper left. Well, that's the upper. Yes. You tell because the Don's looking at James Caan like, what the frick you talk? Keep your mouth shut. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite character there, Carl?
Actually, my favorite character was Clemenza.
Yeah, I'm looking at Luca Brasi.
Luca Brasi. Now, what's his real name was Lenny Montana, who was a bouncer, wrestler,
professional wrestler,
but he was affiliated with the Colombo crime family. So a backstory is that, Sinatra and some of the powers that be really didn't want to have this movie being made. And that saying is one of his famous sayings when he's ready to meet the Don. But they kind of said, hey, they met them and you get one of our people in the movie, and they found him being 6'6", 320 pounds to be fantastic for Luca Brasi. And he pulled it off pretty well because he was very enamored and very about working with Marlon Brando. And he was that's why he was reluctant, but they used it to his advantage. So,
but he struggled with the line, but that was the character. He wasn't an actor, and he was practicing the lines out, before he met the Don, and they let it go the way it seemed more authentic that he struggled with it instead of perfectly delivering Don Corleone, maybe masculine child. So he was my favorite character. I mean, I always thought his name was Luke Brasi. Then later years it was, it's Luca Brasi.
Yeah. But who took care of Luca?
What was it? The Total? Yeah. Well, yeah.
Well, he's the original Manson Eyes.
Yeah. I still remember the knife going into his hand at the bar and then being the garrote on him, and you see the eyeballs on Luca. That was the end for him.
Yeah.
And then he slept with the fishes.
Yeah, people really don't understand what that meant, but it's the old time, as they say that somebody they take and went out there. And who's the guy next to him who actually the one who took care of Paulie? Wasn't that Rocco? Who made his bones?
What? Rocco Neary?
Rocco Neary, yeah.
But that's I'm confusing him with Al.
Al Neary, yes.
Al Neary. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So obviously, I could put up hundreds of pictures. A lot of clips of movies.
Carl, I found out something today. What's one of your favorite scenes is how Sonny meets his end? You know where they shot that?
Where?
They shot that. They shot that at what would become Nassau County Coliseum. The ground was under construction. That's where they shot the causeway scene where Sonny got 112 bullets in him.
100, only 112?
Well, they actually told how it did it. They had all these pellets and they had some rigged where they would all explode at different times. 112 shots.
Yeah, we're talking about growing up Italian, but then being influenced by the classics of the mob movies. And we're going over the original Godfather, actually Godfather 2. I think I'm amiss for not having anything really ready for that. But a little side note, and I always mention, when Michael takes care of Salazzo and the police captain, he goes to Italy and meets his gumad, however young she was, but how she was trying to speak English. And, whoever put this together, the week according to Apollonia,
Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, Saturday. Yeah.
Yes. Come on, Michael.
You never should have taught her to drive.
I know. But
that's part of why the movie was rated R. When the wedding night, she undressed.
Well, yeah, a little bit of mammary gland being shown.
Yeah.
But
nowadays, all they do is they put the mosaic on the certain area.
Yeah. But I think I'm amiss not putting anything for Godfather 2, but obviously we could always come back to it at another time. But
a great character, Hyman Roth, and he wasn't Italian.
No, well, he technically he was going to be playing, it was the Meyer Lansky. They're all, fictitious characters from real people. We all know that. So, we could do the whole thing about, smaller piece about his birthday cake, which he was
67 years old. Yeah,
67 years old.
Smaller piece.
Talk a little bit. Bring up some other things. Maybe I could pull up some other some pictures that maybe I did not put up. But yeah, when did you first? Did you see I actually saw The Godfather when it was premiered in Center City, Philadelphia, and there was a girl on my block, Donna, who I was always telling stories about the guys from the city. So I went to go see it, and the movie was on a Saturday afternoon, and we cruised the Italian neighborhoods, Ninth and Morris and all the ones, and went to Pat Steaks and ate something, and it was kind of cool.
I'm embarrassed, Carl. I'm embarrassed to say that in 1972 I did see Deep Throat and Devil and Miss Jones, but I did not see Godfather for a really long time. I mean, years. I just didn't.
Why?
I don't know. I'm embarrassed as an Italian, but then when I watched,
I'm embarrassed as a cousin talking about this that you never watched it that late.
Well, do I get points for having seen Deep Throat?
As they say in Godfather 1, that's an infamy.
It's an infamy. Yeah, I just never. You probably went on a date. I didn't have any girlfriends when I was in 1972, so I didn't go to see it.
They weren't girlfriends; they were gumads. That
Yeah, but no, I mean, and Godfather 2. Some people say it's just as good, maybe even better, because it goes back in time as a prequel. With De Niro and. That's what I love. That I went back and forth.
Well, yeah, here's a couple of them that I just found that they're kind of cool. Trivia question. the actor who plays this guy, Johnny Ola.
Oh, Mr.
What else
Cheese.
did he
Dominic Chinese from Sopranos. Uncle
Yeah, he
Junior.
Yes. Yeah, he played a great role that he was Hyman Ruff's right-hand man, so to speak.
Yeah, and he helped give it away that Fredo was the one that kind of created the situation where the attempt on his life, that the connection was Fredo unwittingly with Dominic Chase's, Johnny Ola.
Yeah, this is when he meets him when he first gets out to California to Nevada.
Who's that? Frank Pantangelo.
Yeah, where's the peppers and sausage?
When you gonna get mine?
Yeah, when I gonna see it over here? We get the peppers and sausage.
The sausage.
Didn't I ironic that my dad, as his later years, started sounding like him with his voice.
Yep.
Frank Pantangelo.
Yeah.
But then
That's amazing. Not too much. Right after that movie and the Deer Hunter, what's his name? John Cazzo, he died. He was Fredo.
He was an actor. He was in 5 major movies, and all were, up for the Academy Award.
And he was engaged to Meryl Streep, and then he died.
Yeah. But this is a great one. Wintertime, going to meet the Rosados. I don't like that scene of Rosado.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to make that deal. And then the classic.
Oh, yeah. Okay, there you go. The button. Now, what was his character's name on the right? I mean, he was also, if you recognize him, he was in Rocky. He played Rocky worked for him as the numbers handler.
Right. I forget the actor's name, but yeah, there's some classic
character though. I'm a button. You know what I do? Yeah, I'm a button.
Yeah, you put a button. Yeah. There was a lot of buffers.
Yeah.
Classic upon classics. And let's see if there's anything else I brought up there. But no, it's pretty much. And then going back to the original one with Clemenza, I actually said that he could have had a cooking show before the cooking channel.
Yeah,
cooking with Clemenza. Come here, kid. You might have to cook for 20 guys someday. You got your garlic.
The wine and the sugar. Mike
will work
out of you.
You shove in the little sausage and your meatballs, and you do that. Yeah, you kind of got it all.
Well, the guys who ate like princes were in Goodfellas. Remember when they go to jail?
Oh, God, yeah. Well, the thing is, let's do what's one of your favorite sayings, what you've been saying for the last couple of years?
Wait, what? Which go give? You're gonna put it up there. What is it? Oh, jeez.
No.
Yeah, the conversation.
No problem.
Benny, what happened?
Well,
We get straightened out?
No, we had a problem.
No problem.
We tried to do everything we could.
We had a problem.
Well,
With everything we could.
And we couldn't do nothing about it.
Nothing about it.
That's it.
What do you mean?
For you who are looking, that is called a telephone booth.
Yes.
That's it.
Poor
There we
telephone.
go. And this is a destruction of a payphone and then a booth getting turned over while he's crying. Okay.
What happened? They whacked him. Fucking whacked him.
Oh.
Really good.
One more. Boom! Out of here. See, that's because Jimmy Conway didn't split the money for the Lufthansa heist. That's called karma.
Right.
But that was a great movie. Tommy was a great character, but his mom was a better character. Scorsese's mom.
Other things.
And that's
What are you popping up there? And that's that. You popping something else up there?
Well, yeah, I had ended up. get
You're
rid
not
of
going to tell
stuff
me you
that
didn't
shouldn't
put up
happen.
the Copacabana scene, did you? That's your favorite scene.
I know. Then,
Take 66 seconds.
Yeah, talk amongst yourself.
Dun.
Yeah, it's. Now, did you see Goodfellas in the movie theaters?
Probably. I probably did. I mean, Lorraine Brock. I mean, she was beautiful.
Yeah,
You're gonna
keep
pay
talking.
Henry Hill.
Yeah, I should have had this up a little bit earlier, but yeah, it's a one-shot scene that.
What are you gonna do? You're gonna put the postman's head in the the postman's head winding up going into the pizza oven? Excuse
The
me.
problem
Excuse
is
me.
that with these YouTube, you got a commercial in front of them.
I got you. But yeah, the best, like the first 20 so minutes with, as you see Henry Hill growing up from being a 12-year-old parking cars, then to being the gangster. I mean, that was just the best part. I get bored with the last half hour when he gets paranoid about the helicopters and he's snorting all the coke and his wife's doing it. But that's
Yeah,
still great.
and he's stirring it. But yeah,
Oh, this is
great
his
about.
brother.
This is great how. This is great with movies where like you actually see the script and how it goes to the screen.
Yeah, you're gonna pay for this, Henry.
Right, I forgot. I thought it was next week.
It was Friday. It was this Friday, and you agreed, so you're a liar.
Come on, we can talk about this, all right? Take it easy.
Talk about it? Talk to you after what you just did to me? Forget it. I'm not
You
talking
owe me,
to you
Hill.
about
Wait a second. I
anything.
thought you were
Yeah,
going to
Hell, yeah.
bored. You didn't say anything. What do you
Well,
expect?
you're bored because you wouldn't eat and run and see Paulie.
Let me make it up to you. Karen.
I'll think about it.
I remember she's screaming on the street, and I
She
mean
looked
loud,
good.
but she looked good.
I'll think about it. It's going to cost you,
I'm
Hill.
going to make it up.
It's going to cost you a lot.
She had these great eyes, just like Liz
Liz
Taylor's.
Taylor.
At least that's what I
Ooh.
thought.
Oh, she better hire her. No, cover that up.
Ready?
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh, no. Wait a minute.
What?
Quick, you have to cover
Just
that
in time for Mama.
Karen,
He's half Jewish.
I'd like you to meet my friend.
Yeah,
Henry
the good half.
How do you do?
Hi, nice to meet you.
My daughter says that you're half Jewish.
Just the good half.
Got it right. Good half.
Sir.
Here we go.
Later. Thanks.
Here you go.
You're leaving your car?
Watches the car from
It was like me going into the Latin casino.
For those of you who are going to time this, it's 66 seconds from the time they enter to the
Yeah.
time they get to the front of the line.
Yeah, no, I didn't go into the Latin casino through the kitchen, but Uncle Alan used to know, good friends with the maitre d', so I was able to go up the few times I would take dates to
Good. What's up?
the Latin.
There you go.
Well,
And
2 weeks
hopefully,
ago,
Ben, if I ever
I went to-
make my movie, I'll do an homage to this and actually have our friend John, as I'm walking into a club, John eating a sandwich going into a club.
I think I told you when I went to Burns Steakhouse 2 weeks ago, we got a tour of the kitchen. It wasn't just like this, but there was 50 people running around like crazy in a really confined space.
Well, this
This
is where
is so good.
Scorsese was phenomenal. He couldn't just
Look at
pretend. We had all these people there. He had a full kitchen set up to feed people, with waiters, paid them all, kitchen staff, busboys. And that's what made it authentic. They're actually cooking real meals there. It's just not pretending, for a movie. That's the brilliance of
I'm figuring how the
Scorsese.
cameraman did this so perfectly.
Well, this was like the fifth take because Henny Youngman screwed up.
Oh, Penny. Yeah, I mean, he had 3 lines and he screws the first joke up.
Hey.
Yeah. Take my
I mean, he
wife,
starts off,
please.
with "Take my wife, please." How do you start off a set with that?
How you doing?
Henry,
Nice to see you.
Yeah, good seeing you.
Hi, how are you? Anthony, right? in
slip
the
him a
frame.
20. Henry, you slipped him all $20 bills.
Hey, how come we can't get
What do you
I know
do?
you're waiting for a table. I'll be right with you.
have another train? Oh.
Well, it reminds me, I know you started late, but it reminds me going to the old Latin casino in Cherry Hill with a couple of dates. And actually turned into my first wife. I took Kathy to the Latin casino there. And the whole deal. It was kind of cool being young and
Yeah.
19, 20, 21, being dressed up, taking a nice date there. And when I saw this team, kind of reminded me of this.
But this was the place our parents, going to the Latin, the one in Philly, and then when I went to Cherry Hill.
What do you do?
Construction.
What do you do?
I'm in construction.
Yeah.
Yeah, union delegate at 21. Don't think so. In reality, no. There's no union delegate at
I'm a union
21.
delegate.
Well, all he does is pistol whip people.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a classic in that regard. But, yeah, for people just tuning in, two Italian guys. I'm here in California. That's my little background that I was at over the weekend, a pool area around here that I was doing some duty work. And my cousin Vince is in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. And we're discussing just our
Being Italian.
Being Italian and growing up in the 60s and having the wonderful lives that we did. And now we reach this ripe old age or where we're at, looking back at it, that it was a phenomenal time. And it goes by too quickly, way too quickly. But at least I was good enough. And I actually have to thank my father for buying that first Polaroid and getting me into cameras, because I'm saying, how did I get into cameras? My father is the one who had the camera. And your dad is the one who had the big Super 8 camera with the big, strobe lights.
The four floodlights. I mean, the room looked like that dining room looked like it was Grand Central Station.
Oh, yeah, like CBS Studios. But the thing is, hopefully down the road that we'll have some subsequent other ones that I'll be able to have that DVD and be able to cut some, little segments of it that we'll be able to show, and how obviously there's no sound to it, but, how young and we're always smiling. I know we were at a family function years ago when it first came out, and my cousin's daughter's boyfriend was looking at it, and he was just amazed. He goes, wow, everybody's happy. And like you say, Vin, TV was on for sound, but not to be sitting there glued watching it.
Well, the thing was, what got me the first scene is Carol, my sister, and myself coming up the steps from Roosevelt Boulevard to our house, and I was 4 years old, and Carol was 8. And as I watched this stuff, we were middle class, but our parents dressed us beautifully. I have suspenders, the little black shorts, and the white shirt. Carol had the hoop skirts, and this was down the shore too. Amazing.
The first date I had, I was 13, 14 years old in Atlantic City.
Date?
I'm going to I don't know who the girl's name was. I went on a date.
I didn't even know what a girl was at 13. God.
My mother somehow brought a sports jacket for me at 14 years old, and I had to wear a sports jacket in the summer to go to the movies. But I did. So, and that was
keep your hands off the girls. You had to wear the jacket.
Yeah, the problem is, though, I tried to make out with her, and her mouth was full of popcorn. It was like all salt. It's like, ain't going to try that again, So, but anyway, well, we're at the 44 minutes. We've got about another 10. So where do you want to go with this a little bit? And I don't know. I think we just brushed the surface a little bit. I don't think we really went into do much detail. But some of the pictures we had to show what we did, how it was.
Well, I don't know if we want to bore people with our more Italianness, but I mean, we just hit 2 movies. I mean, if you want to go past Goodfellas, Goodfellas and Godfather, Casino, Sopranos, you can't do 10 minutes on.
Well, yeah,
there you go.
There's a whole show, just our reaction to that and to him. That actually he was kind of reluctant to even be in that role. But David Chase realized how great he could be and how he made him into an icon. And he was such a hard worker and making sure everything worked out. But, and then the other one who actually, Tony Sirico, who actually was in Goodfellas.
And a lot of these guys were like Frank Pastore. He played Billy Batts. He was in Casino, and he was in Sopranos. Like 5 of them were. You'd say, yeah, I've seen him before. I mean,
Yeah,
the
but then
Italian circuit.
actually, he was actually in jail. He was associated to a certain family in New York, but then while he was in jail, from when his bio says that he took up acting and whatever, and good things led to another, and got the lead. Well, not the lead, but he got into Goodfellas, and they liked him so well there, they cast him as in Sopranos. So, but we can't not finish without at least homage, and we'll do another one with this one down the road. But as my friends would say, my friend Anthony would say, and then they reiterated, nobody cares. Nobody cares. It's the truth.
You think Mickey Mantle cares that your dad doesn't have a job?
Yeah, if your father can't pay the rent, I think Mickey Mantle cares, and he said he did.
Mickey Mantle makes
He never followed up.
$100,000 a year.
Yeah.
Yep.
And another one that, no matter where you go, you can't realize, if you think you're tough, going into any neighborhood, but then you go into the wrong bar and this happens.
Now you can't leave.
Now you can't leave.
Just then they realized the mistake they had made.
Yes. Yeah, it took all the strength out of them. Now you can't leave. It's like, and it's all true. And the thing is, in reality, the beating they gave them, a couple of guys died, and the thing is, back in those days, those neighborhoods, the cops would say, okay, you done now? Okay. And they would just take away the refuge. They would clean it up. Okay.
And remember at the end of that, when the kids are they're running after a couple of these 10-year-old kids are kicking.
Yeah, you hear when they say, you hairy bastards. And then when he picks the guys up and looks at him like, I want you to see me. Who did this to you? And then he hits him in the head with a bat. And he goes,
you ruined my lunch.
You ruined my great lunch. And what was he going to have? What was on the menu for lunch?
Some veal dish.
No, it was like, something like that. Anyway. Yeah, we could do a show on one movie alone, and just going through it. But then going back to our lifetime, and my guys that I kind of knew from back in the day, the Atlantic City days, these were all Philadelphia guys, but they're native guys that lived in Atlantic City. They were called the Ducktowners. But we would take over the arcades on the boardwalk. We would take over the beaches. We would take over the tram cars.
Hey, you're a thug.
Oh, we didn't see ourselves as thugs.
I saw the
We didn't see
kids
ourselves as thugs. But it was our domain, and we took it. So, it was as they said in Goodfellas, when things were going. To me, it was a glorious time with food.
Is that where you learned how to whistle? That you did that? I'm saying, who the hell's going to turn around? They're going to go, oh, did you do that for me? Like,
who I got that? You know who I got that from?
I have no idea.
Mikey Lapp, the one crazy one of my groomsmen with Kathy's wedding. Mikey Lapp.
Yeah, how many times did the women turn around for that?
Well, no, they would slap him. They would, but see,
well, okay.
He knew that they were going to, just to get their attention. And he was an attention grab. So he knew how it was calculated to do it. That's all he wanted. He wanted attention to get their attention. That's all. He didn't go.
Was that kind of like the guy that goes?
He didn't think they were going to swoon all over him and say, "Oh my god, And no, he was a realist. We were all realists.
Yeah, is that like the guy that goes up to 10 different women and says, "You want to fuck 9?"
No.
And the one said, "Yeah." Well,
no. They were cool. He had a girlfriend, and everything was kind of cool. One little story towards this end. Now, if there's ever a movie, but there's that story of with Goodfellas, the guys. No, we weren't hoodlums. We weren't. We were just guys having a good time, doing our own. So we're on that corner. It's 8, 9 o'clock at night. It's a beautiful summer night. We're on Texas and Pacific Avenue. Bustle, really busy. But then that's when Atlantic City had ladies walking on Pacific Avenue, ladies of the evening. we kind of got to know them. How you doing, Trace? Yeah, all right, how's been? Just talking. Never we indulged with them. We had our own girlfriends and friends, but then we kind of talked. But there was one guy that was not really all there. I think his name was Johnny something or other, and he was a little bit slow, whatever, and always liked to break balls or whatever. And so Mike goes to him, hey, Tina's here. Hey, and he goes, hey, Tina, what would you do to John? He's got $5. And she gave him a look. I'll look at it. What he said. This idiot was so off base. We're on the middle of on the corner. He started taking his pants down to look. No. You don't want to do that. No. So many crazy stories, so many different situations happening that I could say. And there's that picture of him at the bar. Okay, that was in the Bronx. Atlantic City, at the end of Texas Avenue, there's a place called the Sandbar. It's a lot smaller. Us at little punks used to go in here, 12, 13 years old, flip the beach, go in here. Pitch dark. Couldn't see a thing. One bartender back there. So back then, Atlantic City, all the bars and everything was open 24 hours. We go in there. He goes, the fuck you punks doing in here? What are you doing in here? You want a Coke? Good. Can you get the fuck out? Go. All right. So every once in a while, you hear the police cars flying up Texas Avenue Sandbar. Who's getting thrown out? Who's getting beat up? So it was the norm there. It's a shame you didn't go down. I know your dad went, spent some time with us. I don't know why you didn't come with us to meet us down here, but it was a glorious time. It was great growing up Italian. And I guess now being here in California, people want to hear certain stories from back east. And I always say, look, first 4 years I was on 10th Street, the one block of the Philly cheesesteaks. And you can still smell the onions frying from, 2 blocks away and now 2,700 miles away.
And now you can't get good pasta. You get it with ketchup sauce. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So anyway. So that's just a little tidbit about our background. Hopefully we came out. Some people could watch it, even though we had a 20-minute delay. But we finally made it, and hopefully we'll have another one. Now, I don't know if I took the picture of this one or not. Your schedule. I know we're supposed to be going to a out of town in the next week and a half. And I would like to do something from that city and go Viva Las Vegas and show that bad boy.
The MSG Sphere.
Yes.
Amazing. You got to see it at night.
$2 billion and
550 feet by 360 feet. Unbelievable.
Yeah, so we will be in that city 2 weeks from now. So I think we might do one more before Vegas. We will determine what that subject matter will be. And if anybody will be watching, we think 1 or 2 people watched while we were alive. I know it's late back east. And but if anybody sees them subsequently and will give us a comment about maybe what you would like to hear on the next one or a couple ones. And if you like what we say or what we're doing, like the bottom crawl says, like, subscribe, and comment. We would love to hear it.
Yeah, and we'll listen to what you want us to talk about. Absolutely.
Of course. We can actually bring anybody on here the way this technology works. Once we finally know how it works, you can bring on a guest and talk about certain things. And I do have some other things lined up with some prominent people from the DJ of the Philly area with the clubs and whatever, and have some of them on there as we get into the September and the fall season, and maybe different subject matter, and getting to the science fiction with movies like Close Encounters 2001 and my favorite 2010. But we'll get into that, and then hopefully we'll be able to show some nice venues where we're going to be. We're going to be what, at the MGM?
MGM Grand.
Is there an MGM and then a Grand MGM Grand? No, right? Just the MGM Grand.
Sure. I know there's So I know there's an MGM. I'm not sure what else there is, but yeah, we're going to be there. What, the 19th to the 23rd, 20, yeah,
Yeah, I'm there.
Saturday
2
through
days.
the Wednesday. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's I just got my car serviced today to make sure it gets there. Not that it's in bad shape; it's in great shape. But as the weather was hot, it's a little bit cooler here now. But then as
Yeah,
of Tuesday,
110.
a week from now, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week, it's in the low hundreds here, and it'll be the high hundreds and maybe the 110s in Vegas. So I don't want to be breaking down even if it's a flat tire. So I'm going to be driving at night to get there. But I should be fine. John's already there, so he's already having his good time there. And then we'll be doing stuff on my iPad, and hopefully I'll know a little bit more technically about that. And is there anything else you want to talk about or anything?
I think we're good. Let's just wrap it up, and we'll schedule one more before we go to Vegas.
Yeah, to let people know. What do you think maybe would be our one for number 3?
Well, I'm good through Friday. Remember, Friday, maybe
What
even
about the
Saturday.
beginning of next
Sure.
week? What
Next
about the
week,
beginning?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Right. What about the subject matter?
Thursday, you're going to be next week. Thursday, you are gone.
I'm out of here, like Vladimir. Yeah.
Well,
So what do you think subject matter would be?
well, there's all kinds of things. I mean,
Like I said, if anybody does watch this and wants to throw out something about what we could talk about, because we're a plethora of any kind of subject, and we'll talk about it because we basically do in our own time, through these times. So it would be kind of cool. So yeah, to wrap up, if you like it, please subscribe on our Facebook channels. We actually have my Facebook channel. Hopefully, then it goes to yours. It goes to our Talking with Cuz Facebook channel, and I know it gets some pretty good hits already, and our YouTube channel. And I'll go on my private Carl Candello YouTube channel, and I keep checking it, and people are checking it out, and we'd love to hear from you, and hopefully you like what you see, and we'll come back to you next time. Probably, you said you're busy over the weekend?
Probably Sunday, maybe even Saturday. We'll talk later. I'll know more by.
Yeah, if not, it'll be Monday or Tuesday of next week, and then once we're in Vegas, we might be on there a couple times with a lot of different things in Vegas. So to end it, we appreciate it. If anybody's going to watch, any further comments before we go?
That's it. Good night,
As
everybody.
we say thank you, and we'll see you next time, guys.
Good night.